There's many anime and manga I've enjoyed over the years, and the most popular ones have games made about them. These range from obvious examples like Dragon Ball and One Piece to newer IPs such as My Hero Academia and One Punch Man. Much like movie game tie-ins though, the quality of these can go from atrocious to average, with the odd one being a good or great game. So when I started looking into games for Yu Yu Hakusho, an amazing series that I'd highly recommend if you haven't ever watched it or read it, I saw the volume of games, the publishers and their developers, and basically knew what I'd set myself up for. That's not to say that they're all bad games, it's just that I wish I purchased the ones that I knew were good. To start off with is a game for a system I never expected to see whilst browsing online. Yu Yu Hakusho for the 3DO is a 2D fighting game in the vein of Street Fighter. There had already been some SNES and Mega Drive fighting games based on the series, and to be honest they're pretty good. The 3DO also has a great port of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, so my hopes were higher than they probably should have been. The game begins with an FMV of the second intro of the anime, albeit without the theme song, so I was already impressed. The menu has bolt-on voicing options, and even though there's not much to select, it has the bare minimum. The selection of characters consists of the main cast of heroes and enemies. Considering this game takes place from the Dark Tournament arc to the end of the Chapter Black arc, there's a wide variety of characters they could have chosen, but for the later arc it makes sense if you've seen the show as to why people like Doctor and Sniper were chosen over characters like Games Master and Gourmet. Basically, the game consists of a story mode, versus and team battle. Versus and team battle are basically exactly what you imagine them to be. The story mode, however, is actually well done. After selecting what I'm assuming is difficulty in something else, which, as there's next to no information online for this game other than the odd video of special moves, I have no idea what it is, you're treated to another FMV. It's great that they use clips from the anime rather than just using screenshots for bits between the fights. Then comes probably my favourite part of the game, which is the character select screen. You can choose between Yusuke, Kuwabara, Kurama or Hiei to fight. Should you lose, they drop out into the next fight, though without full health. It is partially restored after each win, so there's a bit of strategy in picking who to fight next. The best part though is once you select your character they walk out from the group, much like a scene from the anime or manga. It's only a small thing, but it really stood out as a unique way to show your choice. It's a shame then that they didn't actually put that much effort into the actual fighting and how the characters look once a battle starts. The characters do look like they've been ripped straight from the animation cells, albeit with about 90% less frames. Not only that, and it is quite a small thing, the size of the characters don't make any sense whatsoever. For characters like Yusuke and Kuwabara, they seem the right size, but when you put in other characters like Bui and younger Toguro, surely they should be double the size of the other characters, yet they seem to be scaled exactly the same. Apart from Hiei, who's just ridiculously tiny. So the graphics aren't stellar, but at least each character has their signature moves like Yusuke's Spirit Gun or Hiei's Dragon of the Darkness Flame. They're cool to watch and do a ton of damage even when blocked. But this is where the biggest issue with the game comes in, and that's actually playing it. You have 2 attack buttons and that's it. Special moves are often either a combination of multiple inputs or charges. Specials also drain your spirit gauge rapidly, so once out it's either a case of trying to rapidly regain it by charging up or relying on basic attacks. And everything pretty much can't combo into each other. Movement is another problem as it feels rigid and awkward, something which is desperately needed to make a playable fighting game. The computer is relatively cheap as well. Regardless of the difficulty, it will basically block everything that you throw at it. And those special moves that I was talking about, forget trying to actually hit them properly, they'll just either jump over them or block them. So apart from the story mode, there's not much to the game. The versus mode can be quite fun, as can the team battle. All in all, it is an okay fighter, and there is fun to be had. There is a distinct lack of fighting games on the 3DO, but then again there's also a lack of games in general for it. If you already have Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but looking for something different, then maybe because this game has an anime twist and you're interested in Yu Yu Hakusho already, it might be worth a look. Considering I didn't even know that this was out for the 3DO, it is quite nice to have another game for the system. This thing isn't exactly known for having the greatest of games or the biggest library, so it's quite nice to actually have a game worth playing on it now. But that would only really be in versus mode or team battle. I'm not really going to play through the story mode again. It was annoying and cheap as hell to win. So that's the first of a few Yu Yu Hakusho games that I bought recently, and to be honest, it doesn't really get much better than this. Let me know if you enjoy Yu Yu Hakusho and have even played, let alone know about this game, down in the comments below. I've been Tom from VictoryPros Gaming, thank you for watching and have a great gaming day.